Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the PL Report. This is our eighth episode, and it's obviously your hosts are still the same. It's me, Amshuman, and with me is Ayush. And well, it's been a bit of a weird week, I believe. Like none of the PL, like
Boring.
we'll
I wouldn't
discuss
call it
the
weird.
yeah, you can call it. It's been a kind of weird, boring set of
Dull
fixtures in the
weekend.
Premier League,
Yeah.
especially with what happened on Sunday.
Hmm.
And I think we may as well start at Old Trafford, right? Like let's just begin at what was the main thing that happened in this on
Hmm.
this weekend. We'll try and keep this episode short, to be honest, like so that like we don't want to go too long, basically. So let's talk about it. So, do you want to give an overview of what happened, Ayush?
You start off, I'll add it to the points because I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Oh,
I
okay.
know the facts and everything
So
here and
on
there.
Sunday, like there was a pre-planned protest that took place at Old
Yeah.
Trafford against the Glazers. So they had because obviously like this is the marquee fixture of most calendar years, right? Like
Hmm.
Liverpool versus United, and especially with the debacle of the European Super League a couple of weeks ago, there was a planned protest that was supposed to take place around Old Trafford, and it got a bit out of hand. Not as out of hand as some media outlets are willing to make us believe. There was a bit of violence.
Yeah.
There were small clashes taking place, but most of the protest is peaceful. And this is not from me because I obviously wasn't there, but this is
Hmm.
coming from the people who were actually there, like Roy Keane and Jimmy Carragher and Gary Neville, because these guys were in the stadium at the time of the protests. So their safety was at risk, like technically speaking. But obviously the way these guys approached it and the way the protests were approached, like obviously you will find some idiots. Like if there is a crowd of 100 people, you'll obviously have two idiots always. Like there'll always
Yeah.
be two people who will push the boundaries and do stupid shit. But
Hmm.
most of the people who were there were protesting peacefully. Yeah, like from a COVID perspective, it does not look great, but at least in a country like the UK where vaccination is on a much higher level, it's
Yeah, and
not
I
as
think
bad as it sounds.
it's not as bad as India also. The COVID
Yeah, like
situation
India
there,
is a
like
completely whole different case. Like rather not go there, especially like
hmm.
it's been really hard. And so it was there there were some rules broken. There were small clashes. Like I'm not exactly sure on the clashes part, but
I
yes,
think a
there were
police
definitely a couple of
officer
injuries to
got
police
injured.
officers.
Yeah.
And but on the overall, I believe it was a peaceful protest from a set of fans. Like the question is, why were they protesting? And
Hmm.
that question is answered because they do not have any other options. There are no other avenues left for these fans. These protests have been 16 years in the making, not 3 weeks in the making.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I would like to discuss. People believe that this protests have recently started due to the downfall of the club, but the protests have been taking place even when they were winning Champions League and everything. It's
Yes,
not against
like
success and
Graham
everything.
Souness is absolutely wrong in his suggestion that this thing would not has not been a problem.
Yeah,
Has been a problem
this has
just
been
because Manchester United do not win as much as before.
that's
Like
not.
I'm a guy who's seen Manchester United for the past 7 8 years. I started supporting. I could be called as one of the people who sat on the bandwagon when the club was successful, but I'm still here. So like call me whatever you want. That's not the point. But
Hmm.
like I've not just been like, oh, Manchester United have not won the league, that is the biggest problem. No, that's not how we approach it. We approach it game by game. That's how you are a fan for life. Especially I think Ayush, you can absolutely relate to what I'm saying because we both are supporters of clubs who don't really win that much compared to like a Man City or a Liverpool nowadays.
Yeah,
So
we've
we
had
don't
our good
support it
days
for the
past
glory.
us.
Like the glory is secondary to us now. We support
Hmm.
it because that's part of our life and it holds a very important place in our hearts. That is why we are supporters. And I think that is almost each and every one of the supporters that was on the ground that day. They will have much more like personal feelings or like very much more feelings to directly to that football stadium and the players, like watching them each and every week. So the people who were actually in there weren't supporting, weren't didn't have a problem just with the glory. Their
Hmm.
problem was with the fact that their club meant so much to them, and that that meaning that they had towards their club, that willing wish of happiness and that wish of pushing them on and helping and supporting them, like that has been slowly been what do you call it, like it's slowly been faded, or it's been like kind of grinded out, like basically a rock gets sedimented, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's been happening under the Glazer ownership. Like like anybody who has any background on following Manchester United, or who has done their research or tried to understand a bit of the history, would know. Like, I don't understand exactly what a leverage buyout is, but from my understanding, it is basically that you are buying a club on the basis that you'll use the club to pay off the loan that you're taking on it. Basically, the future assets that the club is going to create is going to be your method to pay the club off. Like Swiss
Mm.
Ramble had a Twitter thread on Manchester United's ownership structure and how they've been the dividends and the payments and the loan interests have been paid over the past 15 years. Like, if you want more information, you can check it out. It's pretty helpful. I still don't understand most of it because that's not my background, but it's been on a long time coming, and I think it's a move of fans who don't really know what else to do, and fair play to them, because like if we don't directly hurt the Glazers' wallets, I don't think anything is going to change, and I don't even know if it's going to change after this happened. So
Mm.
like,
I think something similar took place a week ago with Stan Kroenke out also. Arsenal fans were showing the same thing. They were also protesting.
yeah,
The only
yeah,
difference
but
was
I
they
think the
couldn't enter
Arsenal
the
one didn't go
stadium.
overboard. Like, this United one went
Yeah,
over the top
bit
because
overboard.
police
Like
got
I think
involved
that
and there
was
were injuries. So
there was that the protest was actually more peaceful as they didn't even enter the stadium. They were just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
outside
yeah,
of
yeah.
Emirates Stadium. I think there was a
Hmm.
game going on at that time or something. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that might have been a better approach. But this one definitely
Well,
showed
the
more
one that
effect and
grabs
everything.
headlines is what's important here, because it's not about
Exactly.
actually
So
like being non-violent and being like the Black Lives Matter movement also. Like, it's not the same. Obviously, the rights are very
yeah.
different, and it's a much more potent social issue than this one, obviously, because this is just about a football club at the end of the day, and that is about actual people's lives, and it's
Mm.
about like the history and the concept and the context of it behind BLM is very, very different. So like the same kind of attitude that was taken towards those protests, like just because there was a bit of vandalism and some graffiti and all those things, and like, yeah, there were some incidents that took place. I'm not denying those incidents, but
Yeah,
like
we're completely
sometimes you have
against
to look
that.
at the bigger picture, and you have to understand what the message is. Don't just point out individual. You have to take in the message that those people are carrying, and that is what's important here, and that's what a lot of people who do not want to look at the issues will do.
Mm.
So that is why I'm pointing this particular part out. Just because there are some things that go wrong with a protest, or there are a couple of idiots part of a protest, that does not undermine the protest completely.
That's
And
true.
that is what has to be remembered.
It doesn't defeat the
Anything else you
purpose. You
want to say
can
about this,
just take
Ayush?
away those idiots who injured and harmed people while getting
Yeah.
in. You can remove them from the protest, but this protest still stands. You can get them
Yes.
arrested. Out of the 100, you
Yes.
can take out the four people. It doesn't matter. The protest still stands. So I
Yes.
completely agree with both the protests that took place, with whether it was Manchester United or Arsenal or even the Black Lives Matter. I'm completely in support of all of them. But yeah, you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
look at the bigger picture.
Yes,
That's
you
true.
have to. Like, you look
Mm,
at the message. The message is what's
mm,
important here. Why are people protesting? Like the
yeah.
what happened in 2017 when Donald Trump was elected, the women's right march. You look at the
Mm,
message that they're trying to send, right? that
mm,
that look at the message. Don't look at what happened in the actual protest. Like, don't completely ignore it. I'm not saying completely
yeah.
ignore any vandalism or any
Yeah,
sort of rule breaking, but
whoever
like you
did the
can't
rule
undercut
breaking,
the
you
protest
can
by.
arrest them. I mean, that's fine, but the protest shouldn't be taken apart.
Yes,
Mm,
yes, you have to look at both the things, and it's not like brain is not capable of looking at two things at the same time. That's not how it works. We
mm,
have multiple thoughts going on at the same time. Then why can you not incorporate both the thoughts? Like, have a nuanced opinion about things. If like, at least just reading about it, listening to things, listening to people talk about it, like that's kind of what we are doing, right? We are trying to have more nuanced opinions about football, so that like that is what's basically happening. We both are listening to each other, talking to each other, and to try and fashion like improve our opinion on football and understand more about it. So why not do
exactly,
it for most of the things that are happening around us? Like, you can't do it for everything, that's not possible, but at least the things you're interested in, yeah, we should try and have more nuanced and more like at least an opinion that you can explain. Like with Deep last week, at least the man had
mm,
done his research, and he talked about things he understood, and he made an opinion after putting in the work on it. He just wasn't blabbering out of his mouth, which is absolutely
exactly.
unfair to any person who's trying to have an honest discussion about it. So is there anything else you want to add, Ayush, or can we should we just move on?
No, I think we've covered it pretty much, and I think we've made our points pretty clear here.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Let's go to the actual.
Table.
We won't really be discussing the fixtures this week, people. Like we'll basically be talking about, like we may as well, because it's not like none of the results were very like mind blowing or anything. I think the only one that was kind of weird was Leicester's points dropped against Southampton,
Yeah.
because yeah, that doesn't help them. But I don't think long term it is
Mm.
going to undermine their issues. Like especially because West Ham won yesterday, so that makes it even
Yeah.
more. So let's talk a bit about the PL table. Honestly, like I think we let's talk it from a PL table perspective to try and
Mm.
see where all like standings can change from now till the end of the season. So first is obviously Manchester City. They basically won the
They've
title.
been decided. Yeah. I think
Yeah, that is
with the
done.
Liverpool and United game, it would have been decided and for sure.
Yeah, it
I
would have
think.
been a guaranteed, but yeah, like there is no
Yeah.
way they're going to. They need just two
Yeah.
points from the next four games, so that's done. Then Manchester
Mm.
United are second with 67 points, and they have 33 games played. So United have five more games to go, obviously because of the Liverpool fixture being postponed. Leicester City are on 63 and they have four games to play. So there is 4 points of gap between Manchester United and Leicester City.
I
There
don't
is
think
some
they're covering up.
intrigue, kind of intrigue, but I don't expect Manchester United to
Mm.
lose
Yeah.
second place because just need a couple of wins out of these fixtures to just guarantee themselves second spot. And it's not like Leicester cannot drop points from now, and they already did that this weekend.
Yeah.
So I think it's more
They
or
have to
less.
be very
I think
careful.
second place is almost confirmed. So I think Leicester has to look, instead of looking forward up above the table towards them, they have to look below them, because Chelsea is on
Mm.
61 and they are looking excellent. Like even this week, good win against Fulham, solid
Yeah.
result. They did what they had to do, get a 2-0, get out. Basically what Manchester City did against Crystal Palace. Get the result,
I
get out.
predicted that. I predicted that.
Yeah,
That's one prediction I got right out of all the
yeah.
ones.
Well, that was kind of what's going to happen, right? You'll get one right and four wrong. Like that's how it works. Like
Yeah.
it's a prediction. So
Mm.
if you get like even if you get 40% right, that's a mighty impressive number, honestly.
That's true.
Yeah. So okay, Chelsea's on 61. West Ham are 3 points behind them on 58.
The
And
only
Tottenham
worry
are two
that,
points behind West Ham on 56. So let's
yeah,
combine these three teams like and talk about it. Like mainly West Ham and Tottenham. Liverpool
I
are
think,
another 2 points behind. So let's talk about 5, 6, 7. And
mm,
which teams do you think are going to end up in fifth, sixth, and seventh spot, Ayush?
fifth, sixth, and seventh. I think after West Ham's win last night, also, I think over Burnley, I think
Hmm.
they've pretty much kind of won the point of getting fifth at least this season. I don't think they'll be
Okay.
dropping out of that position. They've been in the
Okay.
fight for fourth and fifth. I don't think they're catching up with Chelsea now. As you said,
Yeah.
on the form they are right now, even in the semi-finals there. And I think they
Hmm.
might even go to the final. So I don't think they're dropping out for the fourth position.
Okay.
West Ham will get fifth for me. Sixth,
Hmm.
I think I made a wild guess prediction of Everton, but after last night or last night when they lost to Aston Villa, I don't see them actually getting back on the form. I
Well,
think it's
Everton
too
do
late
have a
for them.
game in hand. Like if they win that game, they actually go above Liverpool. So they'll be on 55. Do you still think they can't come up sixth?
I'm not sure. I think they can. I think it's going to be a sixth or seventh between them.
Yeah,
It's
because
going to
the
be,
weird thing about Everton is that they do random shit. Like they'll
yeah,
like the games that you don't expect them to drop points, or the game you don't expect them to fudge up. Basically, they'll do it.
yeah,
They have so many weird results. I think they were talking about it on the Football Weekly podcast also, that Everton have
mm,
so many results over this season in which they would believe they should have done better because they have the equipment to do better. Like they have the players to do better. So
mm,
I think Everton would count themselves quite unlucky and kind of anti-clutch basically, because the
yeah,
results that would have changed their season, they kind of screwed up there. So I think Everton would be a deserved eighth position, honestly. I believe, but Liverpool, you can't really tell. Like I really can't tell what's
mm,
going to happen with this Liverpool side. Like they look mentally crushed, honestly. Like
yeah.
they will have time
I,
at least. Like they at least have time on their hands because they don't have any other competitions to play in. So let's see. Well, actually, Liverpool and Everton have the same amount of fixtures left because of the United thing. So, well, I think I would say sixth and seventh would remain the same. I think Tottenham will finish above Liverpool.
yeah, that could
Uh,
happen after last night's win over Sheffield United also. I
well,
think
yeah,
that
that
gives
was
them a good
completely like
advantage.
that. I don't think there's any point of deriving a lot of conclusions from that. Sheffield United are done.
No,
They're
no,
just
no, it's
waiting
not
to
that.
drop.
I think it's more like Liverpool have Manchester United next week or whenever they have as the game of the 34th game. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
as Tottenham won their game and they got the 3 points, I think for Liverpool it'll be much more of a fight against
Is there a
United.
Tottenham Liverpool or Liverpool Everton game that is going to happen over the end, like till the
No,
end
no,
of the
no. I
season?
think Everton Man City is a game, so I think Everton's last game is against Man City, and that'll also be crucial if they try to get points. I don't think they will though.
I think it's
Even
just
this,
like going up and down in the standing. Like I don't think it's going to really mean anything. Like overall, like I don't think
mm,
Liverpool can get into Europa League contention. Also, even six looks a bit beyond them. Like Tottenham
yeah,
should be able to do it mainly because like now they have their players and like they don't
I
have a
think
lot
that
of
set
tougher
of fixtures
fixtures.
they have only Leeds, I guess, and if I'm not wrong, Leicester
And I
City.
think the Leeds is going to be a game that they should do well against, especially because Mourinho would expect, matlab, like the defensive philosophy that they had and the way they were approaching the games. I'm pretty sure that game is going to be quite comfortable for Liverpool.
I think
For
they'll just sit
Tottenham, my
back
bad.
and counter attack against Leeds. They might not be the better team, but they'll get the result.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
I like this is kind of like now we get into mid-table. Like honestly, like the teams are close enough. Like Arsenal, Aston Villa, Leeds United are close enough, but it really means very little. Like there is no
Yeah, it
jogging formation.
doesn't
There is
matter.
no drive for those teams to push to get results. Like they'll just be like to try and get a good end to the season. That's all it is. Like these teams are looking on to next season. This season is basically done for them now. They don't have
Yeah, I
much to
think
play.
Arsenal have put all their eggs in the Europa League basket if they can make a comeback against Villarreal.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
if
their
they are
season is
able to
over.
get back against Villarreal, yeah, that Arsenal have that. Arsenal will have that of that important set of fixtures. Like it's not set, like just one fixture against Villarreal on Thursday. That will mean a lot in the long term
Hmm.
scenario
I
of
think that's
this.
the most important game of the season, where they
Yes,
have to show up no matter what.
yeah.
It's
So
that
I
or
think we can
going.
drop down and we can go down to the relegation spots. So, well,
Yeah.
like the relegation is not too far from the mid table actually. Wolves are technically mid table with 42.
Hmm.
Then it's Crystal Palace, Brighton, Southampton, Burnley, and Newcastle. Crystal Palace on 38, Brighton
I
and
think.
Southampton on 37,
Mm,
Burnley and Newcastle on 36. And this is from 13th to 17th. So this
yeah,
is the
I
like
don't think.
Newcastle is just above relegation at 36 points.
But I think they're very comfortable over Fulham or whoever's
Oh
below
yeah,
them. I
I
think they're
didn't
nine
mention it on
points above.
purpose, like because Fulham
Hmm.
and West Brom are on 27 and 26 points. So there is a nine
Yeah,
point
so
gap
I think.
between Newcastle, Burnley, and Fulham. So the
Hmm.
relegation battle is done. The three teams that are going down are official now, not just Sheffield
Fulham,
United.
West
It's
Brom.
not mathematically done, obviously, but I
Yeah,
think
but I don't think
by
they
this
can
week
win three
mathematically
straight
also
games.
it will be done. Fulham,
Yeah.
West Brom are going down, and kind of a shame. Well, Sam Allardyce couldn't really pull off the relegation move, like the Leicester
Hmm.
in 2015 that was pulled off when they came out of relegation, like out of almost guaranteed relegation. They put turn the odds around on them. Like West Brom have to win all four of their games, and
And that's
Newcastle
also
have to
considering that
lose all four.
Newcastle don't win any.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
so I think that's a very
and
unlikely
so I think
situation.
West Brom are basically done. Good
Hmm.
result against West Wolves. They got a draw, and Wolves have been
Good
very
results
disappointing.
against Chelsea also. We have to mention that they
Yeah,
might have
like the
not
Chelsea,
been
but
the best
that's been a
of the
while
season.
now. I don't know
Yeah,
what's the point of discussing it
but
all the time.
hmm.
My bad. So okay. So I think basically our discussion on the Premier League table is basically done because like Fulham had a good season, honestly. I think they gave it a good shot. They have been poor in the last few games. They completely lost momentum. And like their last five results are basically four losses and a draw. So that's just 1 point from 15, from a possible 15. And that basically dooms you. Like like when you're especially in the relegation and you get 1 point from five games, in the second half of the season is basically kind of like the alarm bells have to be ringing. And I think that's what's happening with this Fulham team. They won't. I don't think they'll fire Scott Parker under any circumstances. Do you have
Yeah,
any?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
He's gotten
and
some results. I mean, he was unlucky at a lot of times, and they might even be back next season. Next, sorry.
yeah. So I guess uh what else? Like do you want to discuss the teams that are going to most likely come up next season? Like do you want
I
to?
think Watford and Norwich are confirmed.
Watford and Norwich are the two confirmed teams. Norwich we've just seen. Watford also we've just
Hmm.
seen. And if Bournemouth are
Can't
able to
wait.
win off the playoffs, then the three
Hmm.
teams that are going to be promoted are the three teams that got relegated last season. I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing that it's the same teams. Like
Hmm.
I don't think it's a great thing, but well, at least the playoff format helps you in the sense that the chances of it being Bournemouth are quite like it's like 30% or something like that. So
Hmm.
because it's a playoff, like anything can happen. It's just one off like one off legs. So you don't know what's going to happen in the two legs that Bournemouth and whichever teams are there in the top six, like from third to sixth. So, well, I don't know what to expect from Norwich. Norwich had played excellent football last season, but
Hmm.
they just did not produce. Their scoring was an issue, like kind of like Brighton this season, but much worse. They
I
didn't score
mean,
enough. They
there's one
conceded a
key
lot.
factor I think that actually needs to be in consideration. I don't think many
Hmm.
people know this, but Emi Bundia has the most chances created in the world this season. That's around 120.
Okay.
That's more
Yeah,
than
well,
each and
we
every
knew Emi
player.
Buendia was good last year also, but like a
Yeah, but
single
like
player
he's
can't
been
drag your team
excellent
up.
this season in championship, and we can't
Yeah.
wait for Norwich to be back.
Well,
I
I
don't think
think
they're gonna
he
go
was
down next season.
linked to Arsenal a lot last summer.
Yeah, he
Like,
was. He was linked to Arsenal in the winter also before they signed Odegaard, and I think it can still happen. But there
well,
are
it
less
can.
chances now. They've promoted to the Premier League. If they get relegated next season again, then that's more likely that he
Yeah,
might
no,
sign
but I
for us.
think Todd Cantwell and Emi Buendia and all these guys that have been excellent performers for Norwich City, they will be in demand in the Premier League teams.
Yeah.
And like, especially guys who are going to drop down, like some of them
Hmm.
will definitely get a chance because, especially with Fulham, the biggest problem is that Fulham have a lot of short term loan players. And guys like what's his name? Angisa and even I think who else was excellent for them. Even Loftus Cheek produced sometime, but I think Loftus
But
Cheek
he's on
again got
loan, so
injured. Yeah, he's on loan anyway. So these guys like
yeah.
they're going to lose a lot of their squad players Fulham next year. So let's
Hmm.
see how their championship season will go. We won't really be following it too much. Like we already
Hmm.
aren't able to follow Premier League football well enough. I have no ability to
The
follow
only
championship football
reason
longer.
I follow Watford is because I watch the cycling GK on YouTube. He's damn entertaining. I mean, that's the only reason I know they've been promoted and all.
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay, I think our relegation discussion, I think, is also basically wrapped. So, well, we
Let's
are
do
going to
something
do,
interesting now. I think let's
yeah.
just get out of the boring zone now.
Well, yeah, we are doing something different. I don't know if it's going to be
Hmm.
interesting. It depends on the viewers. So, what we are basically going to do today is we're going to do another team of the season, not or like Premier League team of the season like we did the last time we made a team. This time we'll just do a Premier League under
Under
23s
23.
team of the season. So, do you remember the formations I did? Like, I don't remember it.
I think we'll go with 4-3-3 again. I
Yeah,
think
no, no,
that's
like
fine.
the site that was there, like
Oh
from on
yeah,
which we could
create formation. You search.
create a form. Can you do it actually? Like, we'll do it and
My
share your screen.
laptop will lag a lot, bro. I
Ah,
think
okay,
my
okay, fine,
screen
fine.
will crash or something. I'll
Yeah, yeah,
just
I'll do it.
open the site and see.
Okay, then at least check out a couple of what do you call it? Uh, like some of the players and their ages and some shit like that, so that
Yeah,
we
it's
are able
create
to.
formation. Yeah, I think even
Yeah,
Rashford
I
is
found it.
included
I
in
found
that
it.
list, if
I
I'm not
found it. I
wrong.
found it. Yeah, I think Rashford would be included. Yes.
Yeah, so that's one clear winner of a spot. Mhm.
Well, yeah, I think the first
He's
guy to get
exactly
included would have
23.
been.
As in, he's turning
Okay,
23 this year,
okay,
or
okay.
four. Not sure.
So we'll stick to a 4-3-3 as
Hmm.
usual. Okay, we'll share this obviously so that the people can also watch it.
Whoever's
And
watching live with us can also help us create formations or name players that we might have missed out on.
yeah, if you want to, may as well. Yeah. So okay, this is our window. This is the formation. It looks a bit quirky, I know, but yeah, it's a 4-3-3.
It's
So we
fine.
just need the positions anyways. So okay, we'll start with the goalkeeper as usual.
Oh, I think there's a clear winner here. Or what? One second. Let me just confirm one thing. I have to check if Dean Henderson is below 23 or not.
Oh, I don't think Dean Henderson is PL keeper of under 23s.
I think it's Melior. He's
Yeah,
24
that
also. Dean Henderson is Melior 24, so I think it's Melior as a clear winner.
yeah, I was even if Dean Henderson was not under in the age bracket, I would have still chosen Melier.
Are
He
you
has been
sure about
excellent
that?
this season. Yeah, he's
I
been
think even
excellent. Like
Dean Henderson has been great this season,
yeah, Dean
as long
Henderson
as
has
he's
been
ready.
great, and especially because I've been watching a lot of Dean Henderson. I thought like Like Melier, the most impressive thing about it was him was like first of all his distribution is excellent, excellent distribution keeper. Really moves the ball around. Good at short passes. Even if he has to go a bit long, he's accurate with it. And and even his pretty reasonable with crosses. Like especially for a guy who's really short, I thought like obviously he's not going to win everything, but he at least commits to it and he goes for it, and he it turns out well for him most of the time.
I think I have a slightly different opinion on Melier about you, compared to you. I think Melier for me, he's a
Hmm.
great shot stopper and everything. I've seen his quick reaction saves and they're out of the world, Some saves
Hmm.
that you don't expect him to make. I think his
Hmm.
distribution might be the problem. Like he messes up a lot in the back with short passes, and like Leeds also play from the back, and they've
Yeah.
conceded a lot of goals because of his errors and everything. But yeah,
Not
otherwise he's
really.
young.
Honestly, the numbers don't back that up at all. Like he, if the in a couple of games he might have, but that's because like that's kind of a problem with keepers like who distribute a lot, like Ederson and all. Because when they fuck up, you will see that fuck up very obviously. But they do it so many times, and there are so many times when do these kind of things. The probabilities sometimes will just come back to bite you in the ass. So
Hmm.
I don't see that as that much of a like. And anyways, he's 20 years old. These
Yeah,
kind of things he
obviously, I
has to be
think
fine.
his
So
age is also
yeah, so
experience
I
and
don't
everything
think
matters a
it's
lot.
like he can be an excellent distribution keeper because there's a confidence about him, and it's not just about the actual incidents that are taking place on the pitch. Quite a lot of times you have to look at how a player approaches things, and especially for a
Mm,
keeper who's so young, his approach is what impresses me the most.
mm. I think this is a confirmed keeper stat, and
Yeah,
he's
well, I think
definitely in our team.
yeah, he'll be there. Like we both have different
Mm.
opinions on him, but yeah, like we can't
I
deny
think
the
we
fact that
both
he's
wanted him
going to
there,
be
though.
there.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. So
Yeah, like
this,
any other shout outs, can you think of anybody else who would you want to shout out by any chance?
I
uh
don't exactly know many keepers under 23 in the Premier League who
It's a hard
get
one.
so much game time compared to Melier.
Yeah, I think Melier, the amount of playing time Melier is getting, I don't think any other keeper in the league is getting, like especially
Exactly.
at an under 23 age. And
Hmm.
there's a couple of them. Like I think there's a guy, Newcastle has one. Like except for Dubravka, the other keeper that was playing, I think he's pretty young.
Sam Johnston, I think. No, wait, that's
Sam
Newcastle.
Johnston is old. Sam Johnston was a United youth player, like around 8, 10
Oh,
years ago. So Sam Johnston is old. Let me just check, like just in case.
yeah, I think.
Oh no, this is not how. Like it won't work with the center back thing. My bad, guys. Is it working? Like what is going on?
Also, just to confirm, we are taking the players who play in the official Premier League. We're not talking about the under 23 Premier League. We are choosing players who
What
are
is
under
going on?
23, but from the original Premier League, not Premier League 2, right?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, we won't consider.
Hmm.
Why is it going into left back, dude? Like what's going on here? Like may as well. I think I'll have to cross out Melier just to be able to check. What is this, dude? This is a weird site. I apologize to anybody who's watching.
What happened? Why do you think it's going to left? Oh, like that.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, he's 27. See, I told you.
Yeah.
So Melier, we can confirm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Center back.
center backs we have to start. So center backs, I think
I'll
under
give my
23.
first shout. I think it'll be Wesley Fofana to start off with.
Yeah, Wesley Fofana, I think is almost a
He's a
confirmed
clear winner
shout
on
out.
one of the spots at least.
Yeah, okay. Like Wesley Fofana, I think we can almost guarantee that one. And who else do we have? Like let's go team by team. So let's with Man City. Like, do they have any young center backs? Not really.
I'm
No.
not sure if Diaz is 23 or 24. Let me just confirm that.
Yeah, we can confirm it here
He's
only.
23,
So okay, so that one is done then. Like, what's the doubts? There's no doubts here then,
but
I think.
it's 1997, so he'll be turning 24 this year. Do you want to include that?
No, we'll do it at the beginning of the season. Like that's where what our timeline is. So if a guy is 23 now or has is like,
He's
let's just
turning
do it from today. Like
24
if
in
somebody's
in
23 right
10
now,
days.
he's in.
Yeah, so it says 23. We'll just take it there.
Yeah, let's take it then. Then this one is
Oh,
also
then our
basically
two center backs are also set.
well. We'll put them in, but like we'll still go out and talk about others. Like why not? Like
Yeah, then wait. I have a few shots that I want to check out.
He's 19. It boggles my mind that this kid is 19.
Oh yeah, he's just absolutely amazing.
Okay, so let's go team by team. So Ruben Diaz, like from Man City, Manchester United don't really have a young centre back who's played a lot. Like the only one who could technically qualify is Tuanzebe. I don't even think he's 23. I think he might be 24.
I mean, he
And
hasn't has had much
he hasn't
game
played
time
a
as
lot.
these
Like the
guys.
actual
Yeah,
playing thing is a completely different scenario. Like even technically he's not qualified, might not be qualified, and from a playing perspective, he definitely does not qualify.
I think Gabriel from Arsenal, Magalhaes,
Yes, I
he's
think
also a good
even
shout.
Pablo Mari is under 23, right? Like even he could
I'm not
definitely
sure
qualify.
about that. I think he's that age or he's slightly older. He's 27. No, he's 27.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought like
Yeah,
either way,
Magalhaes, he's had a good
yeah,
season at
Gabriel,
Arsenal.
but yeah, I don't think he can come over Wesley or
I
Ruben at
think
all.
it's the team performance also that matters, as in like he performed
Yeah,
pretty well in
especially
the
when you're a
first few
center
months.
back because like it's
Yeah.
very important. Like that's the foundation for your team. So, but Gabriel has done well. Like he's had some
Mm.
poor moments also, but on the overall, I think he acclimatized himself well to.
Yeah, I think it was a good first season. It was a great signing. I
Yeah,
think even Manchester
yeah,
United
very
were in for
solid
him.
first season. And then
Solid
who
first
else can
season.
we consider? Well, I think Liverpool don't lay like Nathaniel
No.
Phillips is a shout, but I don't think he'll qualify at all. There's no way he can get it, and
Yeah.
there's no way Ozan Kabak can get it. No way.
Oh yeah. I don't think
So
so.
and then we have Chelsea. Well, I think
I don't.
Christensen is too old, and
Yeah, I
so
think
is
all of the
Zuma, and
centre
so
backs are older
and
than
yeah,
23
Aspilicueta
that
and
play
Thiago
usually.
Silva. So yeah, there are no centre backs from Chelsea who are in contention for this.
Mm.
And then let's move on to like a West Ham. West Ham also doesn't really have a young back
They have
line. Like
old
they're
centre
all the
backs in Valbuena and what do you say,
even
Ogbonna. They've been here
Balbuena
for a
and is
while.
like 27, 28, right? They're
Yeah, I
recent.
mean they're still older than 23, like by far 4 years or something. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I don't think there are any others. I think we may as well move
Mm.
on to the next one. Like
Yeah, I
let's move
guess
on to right
even
back.
now right back, I think there are three spots
This will
here.
be a bit more contentious because like your first
Mm.
nomination is obviously going to be Trent.
I don't know. I don't think I'll.
No, like I'm just nominating a guy. Like if I had to shout
Oh,
someone out, the first person that
oh.
came to mind is Trent. I'm not saying he
Then
has
there's
to be the one.
James. There's James. There's Van Bissaka. Both of them are there.
I think Van Bissaka's 24 now. I think I don't think Van Bissaka qualified.
He's still 23.
Okay, he does qualify.
Yeah, I think there's even James Justin.
Yeah, James Justin was also a guy that I was thinking of. Oh, 22. Van Bissaka is 22.
No, he's 23. No, I think. I don't know.
Well, it was shown
Whatever.
here. Like I'm
He
not a
no, I searched on the net, I think. Whatever. He's still under 23. We can take
yeah,
him there.
whatever. You want to pick Van Bissaka for that role?
No, no, no. I'm speaking about nominations.
So James Justin is an interesting nomination. That is obviously
I
going to
think we
be.
had him in our team of the season so far previously, but I think that was before he got injured.
Yeah, James Justin was in our team of the season. Damn.
Yeah, he was damn well when we started it. I think it was the second week or
Yeah, well,
what.
but like the first most important thing is that he wasn't really playing right back that much. Like he's
He
played a
was
lot of
playing
left
left,
back
right
too.
back. Yeah. So we decided to put him left or right back. I'm not sure, but we had him in our team.
Okay.
Let me just
And
confirm.
yeah, do you have that screenshot or something? Whatever it
Yeah,
is.
I think I do. I think we
Could be
spoke about him a lot, even if we didn't put him in our team.
yeah, we did speak about him. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
we didn't put him. We put Shaw and Cancelo, but we spoke about him.
We spoke about him.
He
Yeah,
was
that's
he was
what
a
I
good
thought. Like
shout.
I
He was
didn't
a good
expect us to
shout.
put. Yeah, but he's still a good shout. But I don't think he will
Yeah,
make it into this team, will he?
I think it's the injuries thing. Otherwise, he would have had a good contention in the spot.
Yeah, and well, yeah, he would have definitely like. So right back, Justin is an option. Then Rhys James is a very important, interesting option. Like Rhys
Mm.
James has had a bit of an underrated season. Like I don't like using the word underrated to be honest. Like, but like he's done well, but he hasn't been shouted out as much. But the problem now is, especially with the rotation, like Callum Hudson-Odoi
Mm.
has played a lot of wing back. Aspilicueta played against Real Madrid in the semi-final.
Yeah,
So, well, did Reece James play enough? That is the question we have to ask, and we don't have the stats with us, so like automatically. So, like,
I think
we'll
he played a lot under Lampard for
He
sure.
did play a lot under Lampard. Like Lampard, I think Lampard generally went with a very fixed team, and Tuchel does not function that way. So
Hmm.
I think in the end we'll have to choose Van Bissaka, wouldn't we? Like I think Van Bissaka looks like the best shout.
I'd have to back that. Reece James hasn't have enough game time. Even if he's like
And
at
even
21
then, I think
appearances.
he was much better last season. Like I thought he was very interesting last season. I think last season was his breakout one. But
Oh
this
yeah, for sure.
season, especially when we look into team performance, taking team performance into account, well,
Hmm.
Rhys James was playing a lot when Chelsea weren't doing very well.
That's true.
So that doesn't help his case, does it? And
Plus, I think against if we even remove Reece James, I think versus Trent versus Van Bissaka, even if Trent as an overall player might be better than Van Bissaka,
yeah,
his
I would
game
agree with
overall.
that. But I think as a
But I
season
don't think as a
perspective,
right
I
back,
don't think you can
he,
give it to Trent.
yeah,
I
I
think
don't think as a right back
let's
you
just
can give
stick
it to Trent.
with our
If we
gut
were
feeling.
playing,
Let's
what do
see.
you say, a right wing back or a right mid of a 3-4-3 formation, then I would
Hmm.
much rather have Trent at right mid
Yes,
who
then
can go
yeah,
forward
then
and
you
go
would
back.
definitely consider like if you go into the 3-4-3. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's the
Okay. So left
left back.
back. Left back
Hmm.
is I think first I think Thomas for Leicester I think is a shout. I think he's done well. He hasn't played a lot. I'll be honest, but yeah, whenever he's played, he's done pretty well.
Damn, that's very low.
That's a lot of Thomases, isn't there? I think I'll have to search with Matt Thomas. I think that's what his name is, isn't it? Or am I
I'm
wrong?
pretty sure it's not, because
Huh, my bad.
yeah, I'm confused. Wait, let me just open the Leicester squad and
Like,
which
I'll
player.
just search Thomas Lester. I'm pretty sure his last name is Thomas. So Luke Thomas. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Yeah, and he's 20 years old, so he
Oh
qualifies, I
yeah,
think.
Luke Thomas. Yeah, we
I
haven't seen
apologize.
much of him this season, have we? Though he's 19
He's
and
played
everything.
in the middle because of Leicester's injuries, right? Which we've
Yeah,
documented before. Luke Thomas has had to play quite a bit, and I'm
I
really
mean,
sorry for the Matt Thomas
I
thing.
think for left back we
Sorry
can
for
again
sorry to
shout
say.
out this guy James Justin
Yeah,
for left
James
back.
Justin is another shout out. Yeah, especially because in the beginning, like, but I think in the beginning of the season when Leicester were roaring, I think because Ricardo Pereira and no Castagna was playing right back or Castagna was playing left back. Like
Castagna
that's
was
what
playing
decided.
right wing back, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
If
he's
okay, in the
always.
beginning of the season, and then Justin was playing off the left, then Justin is a
Hmm.
definite shout out for this team. Like he's definitely has to be in consideration. So I think Luke Thomas is a bit of a now a left field shout, especially because he didn't play enough. So let's look
Hmm.
at other teams and other players. Let's see if we can find
Tierney,
somebody who
I
can
think
beat.
Tierney will also make a shout out. He's
Tierney
23.
is an excellent shout. Actually, I would if
Yeah,
Tierney is 23, then I think
I
we
think
have to
even
put him
I'd
in there.
like to put him. I mean, apart from the
Especially
injuries
because
he's
the
been.
biggest factor in that is the moment Tierney got injured is when Arsenal completely lost momentum. Like because they
Yeah,
were doing
that's
well
true.
in the middle, like before spring, especially in
Hmm.
Jan and Feb when Tierney was the one pushing the team forward and everything. Tierney was an excellent player in the second half of the season for Arsenal. And the
Yeah,
moment they lost him to injury is the moment they completely faltered, and it looks like the linchpin of the side was lost. They completely lost shape and everything. He was doing so much for that Arsenal team. Look at the left side of that team now. It's not
I
even the same. Not
completely
the same
agree. I
at all.
think, and even Arteta, it was foolish for I think to him for letting Ainsley Maitland-Niles go and not get a left back, a recovery left back, or what do you say, a backup left back in January, knowing Tierney's what
Hmm.
do you say injury history. He came
Yeah,
here
yeah,
in the
yeah.
first season. He was also injured and everything.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they needed a left back. I don't think Cedric performed extremely well on the left side,
Well,
considering he's a
yeah.
right
Like
wing.
some
But
of
yeah,
these Arsenal signings are so weird. Like especially because Cedric was a January signing, if I'm not wrong. So
yeah,
low
he
key
was.
and so weird.
I
Like it
mean,
didn't work at
to
all.
be fair, I think he's not done a bad job at right back. His output ahead is
Well,
not
yeah,
as
you
bad.
if you he was good at Southampton because look at his form for Southampton. He was a Portuguese like starter in the Euros, so he
Yeah,
was playing so much, and then suddenly he came to Arsenal, and everything around him just completely collapsed.
I
So
think
it's not just
Michael
on
Arteta gave a
Cedric.
lot of time to Hector Bellerin rather than playing Cedric. Like recently, only Cedric was preferred more than Bellerin, and then Chambers also came into the side. So he was
Yeah,
again
well,
sidelined. I think
just
he's
a second.
underused
Like,
in the
there's
squad.
a comment from the stream. So, physicist lesson says They assumed Saka will fill in at left back, but like that's an incorrect assumption to make because Saka became so important to the front line and the left wing
Yeah,
position.
I don't think he had that in mind
Well,
because he
that's on
Saka
Arteta again,
usually
right?
plays.
Like then they should have like
That's
if
again
he
on
was
Arteta,
supposed
yeah.
to play left back all the time, then Saka should have played. Yeah, well, physicist lesson is just backs that up. He's like Saka was great in the front line. That's what we also believe. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
right,
think
physicist lesson.
I think
So
what do you say? Bukayo Saka now actually prefers playing on the right hand side. Also, he's a right winger more than a left winger. To be
especially
fair,
because I think that front line is too important. Like you can't touch it
yeah,
too much.
you can't
And
put Saka back at left back. That'll be
yeah,
underutilizing him a lot.
that just won't work. And
Mm.
especially because like you don't have the like when Saka was actually doing it playing as a left back, I think he was doing it more as a wing back kind of position.
Yeah, and he
And
wanted to get into the squad. He didn't matter where he was playing. That's the
yeah,
one thing about him. He would play at
and
left
now
mid, left.
because he's just more effective up front, then why would you just put him at left back? Because your front line efficiency and the balance that you have in that front line will be completely gone. And
That's true.
Arsenal are anyways a very like even a small tweak in the system and they completely fall apart.
Hmm.
So
They're exactly not doing well right now. Also, like they're just one mistake away from falling apart. So yeah, I
yeah,
think Tierney wins our vote this one.
yeah,
If
I
I'm
think
not
we'll
wrong.
go with Tierney. Yeah, yeah, he is
Kieran
23. Good,
Tierney.
good. So let's look at our
Now
central midfield.
midfield. This
Central
might
midfield.
be.
This will be interesting. So okay, which is your first shout out in this one? Central midfield. Is
I think.
Tielemans 23? If Tielemans is 23,
Yeah,
then
he's also in that age category. Madison just turned 24, so I don't think he's
nah,
applicable.
I don't think we can count Madison. I think Tielemans has to be in there.
Hmm.
Like Tielemans would have been a shout for the actual team. I think we shouted him out in the actual team of
Yeah.
the season that we were making. So Tielemans has to be in this squad. I'm not putting him down yet because I want a couple more contenders so that I can be sure
Hmm.
that it's Tielemans.
I think we're just looking for central midfield as in CDM, center attacking mid, and CM right
Yeah, I
now
think
for
all
all the
three of the
automation.
options are available because like we
Yeah,
can't. Well, we are not in a set formation. So for midfielder, if he's playing in
yeah.
the central area of the pitch, a bit up front, a bit in the back, doesn't matter. He's in
We'll
team.
also have to shout out Declan Rice for this. He has to be in the
Yes,
list.
Declan Rice has to be. Declan Rice, I think, should be our first one. Like Declan
Yeah,
Rice
I
has
think
to be in this
there
team.
is no debate about that
He
player. He
has
has been
complete like
absolutely
the
amazing in
like
both, I think, last year and this year too. This year he's been much better than last year. But I think
yeah.
last year he was shining more because of West Ham's performances overall. Like this season, you can see them doing better. That's
No,
why
I
he's
think
still
I
not.
think he's the one that makes this team tick.
Yeah,
Like especially because they're not as well, especially his dribbling ability and the way he carries
mm,
the ball. He's an excellent ball carrier, and defensively he's always been solid. Positionally he's always been solid. Those are the marks that actually made him such an appealing option for Chelsea last year when they were looking
yeah.
at him as a transfer. But
I
I
think
think the
the
most
only
impressive thing
reason
that he's
that
done
didn't
this
fall
season is
through
he's become
was
much more of an attacking player.
yeah, he's would you say an attacking CDM? That's the
Well,
correct term.
physicists lesson, this is an under 23 squad, man. We can't have Gundogan in there. Gundogan is like almost
Yeah,
30,
like he's
man.
28 or something, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So, well, okay. Like Declan Rice is our first shout out. I think Tielemans also we can put in. I don't think there's going to be a lot of. If anyways we come up with somebody else, then we'll just like
We'll
anybody
see.
like if physicist lessons you have a suggestion of a guy who's actually under 23, that would be quite helpful actually at this time. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. You don't have to apologize. Don't worry.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. Even
Yeah,
we
yeah.
made a mistake about
I think you
Sam
didn't like
Johnson
you
and
haven't been
everything.
watching from the beginning anyway, so I don't blame you at all. So it's
Hmm.
absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. And the fact that you're actually like interacting with us means more than any mistake you make. So
Oh,
like you could ask us to put Dan James in there and I won't call you out for it. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah, don't actually
But,
do that though. Don't actually
hmm.
do it.
Do you want to put Foden in midfield?
Yeah, where else are we supposed to put him? Like, why not?
No,
Like,
he's
let's
been
just
playing on the attacking side a lot this
well,
season. He
yeah, but
has
then
been playing
we
left
will
wing
have
for.
options also there. Like okay, let's consider it. Okay, let's
Maybe put
see.
him at
Like
cam or
Foden is
something.
our third midfielder for now. If we don't find anybody else, okay.
Yeah,
If we are able to find somebody else, then we'll switch up Foden into the left side of attack. We'll put him as a left winger. Right winger,
I
I'm not
think.
putting because he barely plays on the right.
Yeah,
So
he. I think left wing and cam attacking midfielder we can put
yeah.
in there.
So those two options we have, because somebody
Mm.
like Foden, he's so positionally flexible, and that Guardiola team is so positionally
Mm.
flexible that you can easily put him in two places and have no questions about it.
I think Foden has been arguably one of the best young players of the Premier League, if not the
Not
world
even
this
best
season.
young. I think he's one of the best players in the season. Like quite a lot of people would suggest he's one of the most important players for the Euros. He is one of the most important English players for the Euros. Like he is definitely going, and he's
I'm
going to
not
be
sure
very.
if I can't say exactly because I haven't seen him play in the Euros. Like his part hasn't been like I think for Man City he's one of the best players and one of the
Hmm.
most important players because we've seen him throughout the season perform.
Is
I think we
Mason
have
Mount
like
23? Is Mason Mount going to be qualified for
that's
this?
one name that I almost forgot about. Thank you for you to
Yeah,
reminding
even
me.
I forgot, man. Okay, he's 21. Okay. I
Yeah, we
think this
have
one
to
is kind of
include Mason Mount.
that plays our hand, right? Because Mason Mount cannot be like, there is no way Mason Mount can't be in this squad. So what let us pick what do you call it?
Do you want to remove Tielemans for the time being if you want to fit in Foden and Mason Mount in
No, but
midfield?
then we can just pick Foden at left wing and put Mason Mount in the center. Like, do we have any a lot of
Then
options for
we
left wing?
have to. Where
It's
do we
supposed
put
to be a bit
Rashford?
contentious, right? But because Tielemans has been excellent and he's been consistently excellent, I do not want to remove him under any circumstances. Because most times, like most during most of the season, because Leicester have done so well, what is the reason for them doing so well? First of all, Johnny Evans has been excellent this season.
Hmm.
Another major reason is the fact that their midfield has really ticked, because James Madison has not been great this season. Like he's been great in shifts. The guy who's been driving their midfield has been Yuri Tillemans, and Yuri Tillemans deserves to be shouted out for that. So I think what we can do is we'll pick Mason Mount as a midfielder because he's more suited to the pressing role and everything than Foden is, and Foden can be more of your attacking switch. And the fact that we'll have both these guys in the team, the flexibility that we'll have as a team also would make a lot of sense. Okay, let's
Weird.
just go by teams again now. Let's just look at what team options we have. We'll look at Man
No,
City
but
is
I'm
done.
just
Foden is
scared if
there.
we're putting Foden left wing, do we put Rashford at strike?
Well, we can put Rashford at right also because Rashford has played a lot of right wing this season because of
Then
the
where do we
way.
put Bukayo Saka?
Oh God, this is going to be tough. Mason
Exactly.
Greenwood also has come on
Wait,
with a shout with
wait,
how he's played in the
wait.
last few days. Well,
Uh,
he doesn't
there's a
have to
new
be in there.
official announcement. I think I'll have to interrupt this. Roma just confirmed Jose Mourinho as the new head coach.
Is he confirmed?
Yeah, he's confirmed. I think on Roma's Twitter also they put it up.
Oh damn! Like I can't really see it, man. Like I'm zoomed out anyway. So
Yeah, but
uh,
this is their official Twitter account and on
that's
one call.
I'm not a fan of that. Like I don't like it. Like anybody who's hiring Mourinho, especially with not a big break,
He'll
well,
come from
that
next
is
season. He'll come from next
okay.
season.
Okay, let's complete this. Then, if you want, we'll
Yeah,
talk a bit about this Mourinho
we'll
hiring
just
because
give
we
it
don't
two
know
minutes,
much
I guess.
about it right now. Well, I don't even like. Yeah, wow. Who cares? Okay, so we have a lot of problems in this now. We have a lot of problems because, like, even if like let's look at strikers. Do we have any options for strikers? Because I think we need to sort this thing out.
Yeah, because I don't think Rashford is a natural striker, and that's kind of
Yeah.
unfair.
If we don't have a solid enough option for striker, then we'll go with Rashford, even though I'm not a fan of doing that. Like honestly, I'd much rather put in Greenwood as striker, even though Greenwood does not play as a striker much, but Greenwood is an excellent finisher. So long term he's expected to be a striker. But yeah, that does not justify us putting him
Or
in as a
we could
striker.
leave out Rashford, considering the amount of years he's been in the Premier League,
Yeah,
and
we
he's
could
not
technically do
exactly a
that also.
breakout
Is
star
Calvert
in this.
23? Because if Calvert Lewin is 23, we can't really drop him, can we?
I think
He's
he's around
23.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
so
our striker is set then. Like we have to
no,
pick.
he's 24.
Well, according to this thing, we are going
No,
right.
no, his age, he has turned 24. Like, he's not even turning 24. He has turned. His birthday was like a month or two ago.
Well, yeah, let's just do it according to this thing, right? Like, why do you want to? Okay, fine. Let's screw it then. No Calvert Lewin. Okay, fine.
No, I think there are a lot of what you say
Yeah, yeah,
shouts
no, no,
like
fine.
that.
Let's do it that way. Like we determined on something in the beginning. Let's may as well stick to it. So
Hmm.
and
Let's get to the striker later on. Let's just put Foden as our
no,
left
because
wing
like
for now.
that's what decide our thing, right? Like because striker is the one position. Like the front line, we can be flexible with. We can pretend we're Manchester City here and put in players who will just like work reasonably well. into this.
Then I think we might have to give Greenwood the striker position.
Do we? Like, I think Rashford also, well, Rashford
Rashford,
has
we
played
could
well. Rashford, but the problem with Rashford is especially his second half of the season has been kind of has been kind of blah, because
underwhelming compared to his first half. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
But
because main reason is that he's been injured all this while. So
yeah, and also if you're looking at it this way, Rashford is turning 24, and screw that, he's been a part of the Premier League team of the season, not even under 23.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Even if we leave him out from here, it's not
Okay,
such a
Rashford we'll keep as an honorable mention then. Rashford is our first honorable mention. Rashford is officially out from this contention.
yeah.
So I hope
I
this
think
is
we can
lesson you're
remove.
okay with it. So okay, we're done with
Then
this. Then we have our
then I
options.
left.
Bukayo Saka is there in contention.
Hmm.
Obviously, Phil
We have
Foden is
Harvey
going to
Barnes
make
in
it.
contention.
Harvey Barnes' injury counts a lot against him.
Yeah, I think,
Then
but he's still in contention for this. I think
oh
maybe if
no,
not.
there is no doubt about it. He's another shout out. Like anybody we actually talk about here and actually go into
Hmm.
a bit of, because first half of the season he was like off the left,
Ripping
like
it
he
off.
was
Yeah.
so good. He was so dangerous, and well, he was really a big help to Jamie Vardy also. I think Jamie Vardy's loss of form in the second half of the season, quite a lot of it also has to do with how Harvey Barnes went down and the fact that there was no Harvey Barnes to be a secondary support player or whatever you want to call it.
Hmm. I think Pedro Neto is also a shout in this. His stats may be underwhelming compared to the rest of them,
Hmm.
but he has been crucial to the Wolves side who have been subpar this season. I think
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
ball carrying into the box is amazing. His performance are great. I think he should also be a good nomination for here. I think
Hmm.
Rafinha just missed out. He's 24, and he's
Yeah.
also been injured for quite a while now. I think for the last
Yeah,
one
but
or two.
Rafinha would have still been a shout if he had qualified for it, technically
Oh
speaking.
yeah, he would have for sure.
Yeah.
His performances with Leeds have been
Well, he
amazing.
was because he has been excellent all season, and especially for a guy from the right, because we don't really have a lot of players from the right that we can really nominate. Like
Hmm.
I think
There's Bukayo Saka and
what we
him.
may as well do is let's stick Greenwood up front,
Yeah, strike. That's
choose
fine.
Saka on the right,
Hmm.
and pick
And
Foden on the
Foden on
left,
the left. Yeah, I think
and
that's a
that
good
will
team.
be set. That will be our team, and it will be an excellent team for sure. And
Are we missing
Saka.
someone? I don't want us to get hated on for missing someone.
Yeah, no, then let's we'll go through this once. Like once we're set with the team now, we'll just go through teams individually and try and see if we missed out on someone, or at least someone to shout out.
Hmm. I think Dwight McNeil is also a shout out.
Yes, but Dwight McNeil I think was much better last season. So I think his last season is the one that I would be like especially looking at last season, the downturn in form that he's had a bit, especially like he's picked it up in the second half, obviously, but Burnley were
He's
very
still
weird for a long
21.
time this season. So
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
guess
we can
so.
really like Dwight McNeil is a shout out, but I don't think Dwight McNeil can be in this team.
I'll take the screenshot from my phone and I'll make a better, not
No,
just
I think if
clustered
he just
image.
expanded, it looks much better.
Yeah,
See?
like see this much looks better.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Even
was doing it to the small one anyways because I
hmm.
had to manage multiple things. So
Just download this photo and send it to me on WhatsApp or
yeah, I'll
something, and
download
then
and
I'll
send it to you.
I'll
Yeah,
post it on
we'll
our
put it up.
Instagram.
Yeah. No worries. So
I
okay,
think the team looks pretty good.
it does look pretty good. Like
It
okay,
does have a shout at winning the Premier League if Man City didn't exist.
well, yeah, like they might beat United, yeah, but like yeah, this is a bit of like suggesting any team can beat like an actual football team. The biggest problem is that these guys are all 23 and under, like
Hmm.
experience, and you need
Yeah,
level-headed players who can actually lead you. And
I
well, I
think
think
them plus
this is
Cavani might have
brilliant
won the
team, though,
Premier
like
League.
no doubt about it. Okay, let's go and let's see if there is somebody that we might have missed out on or somebody we'll have to even get into this.
I think
So,
Gabriel Martinelli, apart from the injuries, has been a good shout.
well, Gabriel Martinelli didn't play enough. Like Gabriel
Yeah,
Martinelli also is one of those guys who had a better shout last season, didn't he?
hmm, I agree. So I'm just
So,
going through like alphabetically. So there's
okay, let's go
Arsenal.
alphabetically. Perfect. Yeah, we don't have an Aston Villa player. I'm kind of feeling weird about it.
I mean, is
Is there an
Jack
Aston Villa?
Grealish?
I think Jack Grealish is. not qualified. He's not old.
Ollie
He's not
Watkins is
young enough.
25. Matt Target.
Well, Matt Target is not. Matty Cash is could be a shout out,
Yeah,
but well, let me just check Matty Cash's age. At least you can shout him out. Yeah, Matty Cash
yeah,
would be
Matty Cash
one
is
on
a
the shout
shout.
out. But and okay, Arsenal and Aston Villa are done. Then we can
Hmm.
look to B Brighton. Brighton has any interesting like Brighton has a lot of interesting players, but anybody who's been consistently impressive
Let
for
me
them.
see if Trossard is 26
No,
now.
Trossard is old. Trossard
Hmm.
won't qualify. And who else could we qualify? Like, I don't really think there's a lot of options for us. Are there? Like,
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think Brighton have a lot of young players, but none of those young players have really been like stamped
Exceptional or
their
ever.
mark. Hmm?
I think Tarek Lamptey in the first half of the season.
Yes, but wasn't Tariq Lamptey the big thing? Was it this season or last season? I'm confused now.
This season.
Are you sure?
Arsenal
Okay.
had him. It was before the window
He
transfer
got
window.
injured, no? Though, like I think
Yeah.
first half of the season only he got injured, and I don't think he's really come back from it.
No, 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 no. He hasn't. Even if he
Yeah.
has, his
So
form has dipped severely, I think. Yeah, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it was
yeah.
a good start for the start of the season. I
Yeah,
think
he
the
would have
first
been a
few
good
months.
shot halfway through, but now I don't think there's any chance of him qualifying for this.
Hmm.
So Lamptey is another one. Then Brighton, and then which team we can go to?
Chelsea or
Yeah,
Burnley. First
Burnley.
Burnley.
Burnley. We talked about McNeil. There's not
Yeah.
really a lot of young players on that team.
I think, yeah, I don't think there's a lot of young players.
Yeah, they are bringing in a couple of guys, but yeah, it's not
Hmm.
really solid enough. Like so none of those guys have actually put in a stake. Like beating this team, getting into this one, very very hard.
That's true.
And then Chelsea, we've talked about most of the guys. Like who didn't we
We've
talk about?
shouted out a lot, I think.
Kai Havertz should be a shout out, but Kai Havertz won't make it because Kai
Not
Havertz
this
has
season.
actually had a bit of a
Not this
disappointing
season.
season overall.
Yeah.
And who else is there who could be shouted out from the Chelsea squad? Midfield, not really. Like Kante and Jorginho are the ones who are playing most of the time.
Hmm.
Fullbacks also not really anybody interesting and even qualified. So
That's true. I think we're also
I
done
think
with
Chelsea we
Chelsea.
can move on from. Then Chelsea. Then we have.
Do you just want to look at the table and go otherwise remembering
Yeah,
names?
that's what I was also thinking in the beginning. You suggested alphabetical, so that is why
No,
I.
I thought first thing that came into my mind was my favorite team, so I said Arsenal. So yeah.
Okay, let's go table wise. The team that we've done, we'll skip. Man City, we've done. There is, I don't think there's anybody else to consider. Eric Garcia, if anybody's
Mm,
interested in a shout out, good on you. He barely played anyways. Then Manchester United, I think we shouted out most of the guys. Rashford, we shouted out. We've removed him on a technicality because we wanted to put in Saka
yeah.
and Greenwood uh, and Foden. So and Tielemans. I think Tielemans is the one who's actually the one that you are willing to compromise on, but I am not. So
Mm. I let you
yeah,
have that because you let me had Mo Salah or Riyad Mahrez in the starting.
yeah. No, and
We can.
I think Tielemans is he doesn't get the credit he deserves for because he's had an excellent season. And
That's fair.
Leicester we've discussed. Barnes another again we'll shout him out once more because Barnes had an excellent
Mm,
season when he was fit. Chelsea we've discussed. West Ham unless you want to think of Lingard as a 22-year-old, I don't think there's anybody else that we can shout out
Oh
from that
no, I
team.
think
Declan
that's
Rice
the
is
only
injured.
nomination we can get.
Yeah.
I
And then
think
there is
apart from those
Tottenham.
two guys.
Is
Mm.
Regular in the age group required? But even then, I
He
don't think
hasn't been
in.
that great. He hasn't been that great.
He
I'm
was
not
very
going
good
to
in the
lie.
beginning, but then I think Jose Mourinho with, especially with a guy who's on the younger side, he'll ruin them.
Mm,
Like Tanganga, I was so hopeful for, but then Tanganga barely did anything this season. And
mm.
well, there is not a Joe Roden has not been bad. Joe Roden has done okayish, but yeah, Joe Roden hasn't done enough to warrant a
I
place
think
in the
Tuan
squad.
Zibe from Manchester United would have been a shout, but his performances
But Tuanzebe
were
didn't play
good. But
enough. Like he barely played.
yeah.
Like he's total. Like he's got single digit fixtures. Then
Mm,
Liverpool and Tottenham. Like Liverpool we discussed. Everton might have another player who might we might be able to shout out. Like, but I don't think Everton really had a lot of standout performances from young players. Like who are the standout performances for Everton this season? Seamus Coleman is one of those. Luca Dean has
but
been
they're
good.
not under
Calvert Lewin
23.
has been great.
We just missed out on Diego Yota. He's 24. Even he would have almost
Uh,
made this list.
but even then, do you think Diego Jota deserves a place if he was age qualified? Do you think he would have deserved a place in this team?
I mean, for his performances in a underperforming Liverpool side, being out for like
Well,
2, 3 months, apart from that,
he
he's
was
been
injured for
pretty
quite a
well.
lot of it. He played well for a bit before he got injured, and then when he came back, he's been
Mm,
completely anonymous. Has he done anything since he came back from injury? I don't think so. One game,
I
I think he
think
played well.
he scored against Arsenal twice, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
And
but
then
if that was the qualifier, then I think that would have been a completely different 11 we would have had, isn't it?
Mm, that's true.
Well, yeah, like,
So yeah, I think
like Diego
I
Jota did
mean
well. I'm
we
not saying he didn't do well, but I'm saying he didn't do as well as some people like to believe. I
maybe it
was one
was
of those
because of
people. I was
the
very hyped about him when he first came in, but well, he hasn't been amazing at all. Like overall, like he's been a good enough signing. Like he's worth the money that he was paid for because he was a match winner, and match winners are you deserve that kind of money. But yeah, like even if he was age qualified, I don't think I would have put him in this. And if even if we were going to put him in, I would have really argued against it, which I'm doing now. So
that's fair.
yeah. So Everton, I think we're done. Arsenal,
Arsenal,
we've
Aston Villa were
discussed
done.
reasonably well. Aston Villa also we
Leeds also.
discussed. Leeds, Leeds suddenly is Calvin Phillips in the age group? Like, is he
He's
going to count?
25. He's 25 or
Yeah, so
26.
good. At least Calvin Phillips, we don't have to take into consideration. Like, otherwise, he would have been a tough one to fit in somehow. That would have been a hard job
Oh
for us.
yeah, if it was Calvin Phillips, I still
We
think his
would have had to
breakout
put him
season
in.
was
He's the
last
one who
season.
drives that team. A lot of the things that Leeds do well, directly or indirectly, come from Calvin Phillips. So
Yeah, he's the core of the midfield, no doubt there.
yes, and
Goal,
then
we mentioned Pedro Neto.
yes, we mentioned Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto is kind of unlucky to miss out. He will be on the bench if we ever had a bench
Yeah,
like for this kind of side.
for sure. He'd be our super sub.
Yeah, yeah, and Crystal Palace,
Crystal Palace. We
Eberechi
could
Eze
give
deserves a
Eze,
shout out.
Eberchi Eze, right?
He deserves a shout out. Yes.
Yeah, he deserves a shout out. He might have not had the best of the seasons with
Well,
Crystal
actually,
Palace,
for
but he had.
the way the team is playing, I thought he had an exceptional season. But like the problem is that your team has been completely unspectacular, and the your team
That,
results and the fact that they didn't like look at their goal difference. It's minus 22. They just scored 34 goals this season, and Eze had a hand in quite a lot of them. So Eze
mm,
did really well, but he didn't do well enough, and his team didn't do well enough for him to be like to be a part of this 11. So he's kind of
mm.
unlucky to miss out, but yeah, good season. And Brighton, we've discussed. Southampton will have a
Tariq
couple of
Lamptey.
interesting. Yeah, Tariq Lamptey,
Oh,
shout out again.
Southampton, we'll have
Southampton
Kyle
have a
Walker
good
Peters.
duo in the middle. Kyle Walker Peters is a good shout, but when again second half
Mm,
of the season, the Southampton completely collapsed on itself. So well, we can't look at them too favorably, to be honest. Like
yeah.
the second half of the season holds a lot of value because that's where the results actually matter. Like that's where you find your like if Southampton hadn't done so well in the first half of the season, they would have been clear cut relegation candidates. And this second half fall on their
Oh,
face
yeah.
has been really bad. So well, that's we have to look
Burnley
at.
also, we discussed, I think.
Burnley, we've
We've
discussed. Newcastle. Well, Alan Saint Maximin, I
Newcastle,
don't think qualifies. And he was still anyways too
I'm
injured,
not
so he'll be
sure.
hard one to put
Yeah,
into
I
this
think he
Burnley
just
case.
came recently back into. He saved them from relegation for sure.
Yeah, he did. Whenever he's played, he's been an excellent contributor. But the
Like,
problem is that
mm,
if you're not fit for most of the games, it's very
mm,
hard to put you in these kinds of teams. Like because being there is a very, very important factor looking into these kinds of teams of the season and stuff like that. You have to be present. And Fulham, we've discussed. Well, Fulham had,
mm,
I don't think they had a lot of under 23 players who were really good, but overall, I think some of their players did really well. And Gisa, we talked
mm.
about before.
And Gisa's
And
25, yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's younger than he looks. He doesn't look like a 25-year-old, honestly. He's big and he's strong and he's got his like
Mm,
he's got a bit of an old man face also. So
fair enough.
and yeah. West Brom, I think if Matthews Pereira has done well, and I think
Yeah,
Callum
I
Robinson
think
has done
that's
well.
one shout that we missed.
Yeah.
They've shown their brilliance in moments and what do you say, bits.
Well, the players are good, but the problem is
Yeah,
that like they it didn't tie up well enough.
yeah.
And
No,
anyways, I
he's
don't think he
24. Oh
qualifies.
no.
Yeah. So and
I think
let's just look at
Robinson might
Callum
have made the
Robinson
look.
also, just in case. Even though Robinson mainly scored against Chelsea, but yeah,
He's also 25. Okay, so we're
yeah.
done out
So
here.
well, West Brom didn't really have a lot of people we could shout out. And if we miss anyone, please let us know in the YouTube comments. Please just let us know. And
Hmm.
then there is which teams are left? Oh shit, I'm on the wrong page. Sheffield United can't. I don't think any of them would even qualify. Like we can't even suggest any names. Like
27 losses, dude. Come on. I mean,
yeah, it's bad. Okay, so I think this is it. Like we're done with our under 23s player of the season, team of the season. We'll put this up on Instagram. So if you want to interact with us there, like tell us about who we missed. Tell us either in the YouTube comments or tell us in the Instagram
mm,
comments. So like please like tell us about what you thought about this 11. Any
mm,
changes, any other suggestions? Do you think Greenwood as striker is the wrong choice? Like any sort of questions
yeah.
you have, please let us know. And yes, if you enjoyed it, please like and share it and subscribe. And I think that's it from us to today. I'll stop the screen share. And well, it was a fun episode. We didn't talk a lot about the this week's football, but I think we still had a fun conversation. And I think we can get out of here now. So
Yeah, I think it was a
any
good
last
call.
words
Thank
you
you,
want
guys.
to talk about?
Good decision. I just hope we don't get so much hate for removing Rashford out of the under 23 team. Otherwise, I think it was pretty
Yeah,
good.
I guess.
And
Well,
thank
yeah,
you
I
guys
don't
for
think
listening and
like
tuning in.
he's old enough anyway. Like he doesn't need
Yeah,
people's
I
support.
mean he's an established star of the Premier League now. I won't put him
Yeah,
on as an under 23 star anymore. He's
yeah.
crossed that barrier.
Well, Sterling had the
We're
same
done.
exact problem, right? He was nominated for
Mm,
under 23 awards, even though he had been in the Premier League so long. He had so many appearances,
mm,
and then like kind of this award kind of means nothing now because like Sterling has been
yeah,
playing for so long. There's nothing breakout about it because these awards are supposed to be for kind of breakout players, right? Players who were
yep,
like who over the last couple of seasons have really grown into their roles. So it's not fun when somebody like Rashford or Sterling just kept getting selected like 3-4 years in a row because they turned up
exactly.
3-4 years ago and they
Mm,
completely took the league by storm. Like there is no discredit to Rashford or Sterling here, but it's just more fun when we do it this way. That's all. So
yep.
it's good fun conversation. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll see you on Friday for our Champions League and Europa League recap. So thank you everyone.
See you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.